Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you guys here. Now, today is August 21st, 2019. It's a Wednesday. You know what? Bitcoin is maturing in the markets. I mean, that's my job. As a financial trends forecaster, that's my job, is to follow the markets. Every day, I eat, sleep, and drink markets. Okay? Bitcoin is starting to mature. And I'm going to show you guys right now what means more to Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies than anything else. The most important thing. Now, because Bitcoin's starting to mature in the markets, the most important thing, like all the other markets, now are contrived. They are manipulated. They are controlled. The cryptocurrency markets is starting to mature. It's starting to fall under that same control as all the other markets. And all the other markets out there, the biggest, the most important thing to the markets now that the markets are controlled, is not fundamentals anymore. Fundamentals is meaningless. I'm going to show you guys what the most important thing to the markets is. And now it's becoming the most important thing to cryptocurrencies as well. Now we've saw a price decline over the past couple days, and some of you guys are a little bit disappointed. You wanted it to go up to 16,000, like you're waiting, and then it's going down, and you're like, well, this isn't good, right? Okay, let's start the charts, and I'm going to show you the most important thing right here. We're going to get right into it. The Federal Reserve. This is the most powerful central bank on earth, and their movements are watched by the markets like a hawk. What the Fed says now controls the markets. It's got nothing to do, the markets don't have anything to do with fundamentals anymore. It's got everything to do with what the Fed says. Now, this is going to be bearish. What the Fed just said is going to be very bearish. It says the Fed says it's July rate cut. Now, that was that 25 basis point rate cut we had, and that was bullish for the markets, buoyed the markets. They said that it was just a recalibration. Basically, by saying it was just a recalibration, was almost like saying one and done. That was it. That's all guys are going to get. 25 basis points. That's all your guys are going to get. We're going back to being a hawk again. We're the markets. The Fed is going. It's just suddenly drawed their horns in on all stimulus and everything else. And the market, all of a sudden, I'm going to tell you what, tomorrow morning when the markets open up, they're not going to like this. They are not going to like this at all on Thursday morning. The fact that the Fed's now saying it was just a recalibration. We just dropped it 25 points and that's it. One and done. Basically, that's what I'm reading in this anyway. Fed says July rate cut was a recalibration and not part of a preset course to lower rates. It's basically what they're saying. In other words, well, we've done the 25 basis points, now we're out of here. I'm going to tell you, tomorrow the markets are not going to like this. Cryptocurrency's not going to like this either. Seriously. This is bullish for the dollar. Very bullish for the dollar. And it's very bearish for almost everything else, including cryptocurrencies. And now, I said that Bitcoin is maturing. It's maturing. It's not there yet. It's not matured yet. It's maturing. It's in the process of maturing. So, it's one of these assets that's neither here nor there. It's not a safe haven asset yet. It's on its way to becoming a safe haven asset. But it was a speculative investment for a long time, up until just a matter of months ago. It was on its way to becoming, but it's not there yet. It's still a speculative investment at this point. It's not really a safe haven asset. And so, this is tricky. We could actually, because the Fed come out and made this statement right here, we could see a decline in the markets. But we could also see more of a decline in Bitcoin too as well. More coming, in other words. But I'm going to tell you what. You remember back months ago, I was a guy was out there telling you guys. Now I don't say it. I say it for myself. Like I'm not going to give you guys financial advice. This is not what I'm here for. I was just telling you what I'm doing and what I consider when I become bullish on something. Well, back when Bitcoin, you remember I was telling you guys back when Bitcoin was $3,500, $4,000, I was bullish, really bullish. And we saw that big rise in price all the way up to $13,800. Well, I'm not quite bullish again yet. Not quite yet. But if Bitcoin drops down into the 8,000s, I'm going to be bullish again. Now that's me. That's me. It's not financial advice for you guys. I'm just telling you my sentiment on it. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to drop below 8,000, but I think very well we could see an 8 in front of the number of Bitcoin because of this, because of what the Fed's doing right here. The course that they're setting now, this Friday, they're having another meeting at Jackson Hole. I know it's a funny name, isn't it? It's a funny name. But that's the name of the place, I guess, you know. Jackson Hole. We're going to have another Fed meeting this Friday. We got to see what they say. What's the news that's going to be coming from the Fed. Because this is kind of like everything to the cryptocurrency market. Now, at this point. It's starting to move with the other markets. I'm not saying that cryptocurrency is a controlled market like the other markets, but it's on its way. In the end, they control all the markets. In the end, they'll probably end up controlling cryptocurrency as well, but it's not a real easy market to control price-wise. And the reason why is how they control markets that are like, Bitcoin is almost like a commodity. It's almost like it really exists. Like when you buy a Bitcoin, even though it doesn't exist in the real world, it actually exists on your computer. And it's almost behaves like gold. It's almost like a commodity, you know, gold. And so the thing about it is it's gonna move with the, I think it's gonna start moving with the commodities. So, you know, if you see it bearish for the commodities, like gold and silver and oil prices and stuff like that, you're going to see a bearish time probably for Bitcoin as well, you know. The Fed is going to relent in the end. The markets will force them to relent, you know, but they haven't relent yet. They haven't went there yet. They're not at that point yet where they're relenting. They're still maintaining this tendency to try to hold back, you know. It's interesting in a way because the debt has expanded to a point where if we used our reasonable common sense, if we use common sense, and if we were to use our logical mind, you know, but mankind is not always logical. But if we used our logical mind and common sense, we'd realize that the debt is far beyond paying it. And once you get to that point where you can't even pay the interest back on it, you might as well splurge. But they're not there yet. They're in this mindset where, well, we got to taper the debt back, and we got to do this, and we got to do that. They haven't made a transition yet. This transition's going to be forced on them in the end. Because the way the system's set up like a Ponzi scheme, either they keep this going, this game going of expanding the debt, or everything contracts, and everything gets just, basically everything would just get wiped out. And they're terrified of a contraction, too. You know? But they're looking at the strength in the United States economy. And this is part of what the Fed's doing. The Fed has said all along that they're data dependent. And their data is telling them right now that the United States economy has not rolled over yet. In fact, it's still got a fair bit of life left in it. And this is why they're being tight with the money. They're basically being tight with lowering interest rates as well. Now, I said months ago that the Fed would really like to raise interest rates. You know? So here's the situation that we have. Listen, thank you guys for listening to this show. Like and subscribe. And we'll catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye, guys.